This is from an 11-year-old boy. What do you do with a dragon that keeps coming back after you think you've killed it?
That is such a great question. That is such a great question. If that is you out there, whoever you are, 11-year-old boy, that's a very, very good question. I'll give you the short answer, and maybe Pastor Adam can give you a longer one. You kill it again.
That's right.
You put a sword in its throat. It's not the same dragon because our team has a resurrection power. They send you a different one. You know what I mean? He's got different names. You just keep killing that dragon. And because, like for instance, the dragon of lust, the temptation, you should know that it's not a sin to be tempted. Because it says that Jesus was tempted and was without sin. And so you can be tempted and not sin. So some young men have a very tender conscience, and you can feel bad for having temptations rise. And temptations come from two places, ultimately, your flesh and the devil. And then there's the world, and they kind of work together. And so you want to identify where it's coming from. Is this coming from my flesh, like desires I want to have? Or is this just coming from, I remember as a kid, sitting in my room, and I would have the weirdest thoughts come into my head. And I didn't think that or want that, boom. And I would go ask my dad. And he said, have you read things? No. Have you seen images? No. Have you done things? No. And he said, then that's Satan trying to attack you. You just tell him to go back to hell where it came from in Jesus' name. And you can wield that kind of power in Jesus' name. You use Jesus' name. You say, in Jesus' name, get out of my mind. In Jesus' name, get out of my life. And you go talk to your dad, and he'll help fight him with you. Because I guarantee you, if you got a good dad, he's fighting those same dragons. And so you can learn how to fight those dragons from their dad. But just to encourage you, wherever you're at, wish I could look at you. If to be tempted is not a sin. Now, what you do with that temptation, that's a big deal. Okay? So the temptation comes, and now you're in a decisive moment. And the lesson I always use is the story of Joseph. It's an awesome story in the Old Testament. You can go read it in the book of Genesis. And he goes through a lot of horror. He has a really dysfunctional, enmeshed family, and then they cut him off and they sell him. They traffic him to Egypt, and he's there getting thrown in prison and all sorts of crazy stuff. He does a really good job being faithful to God. He gets promoted to like the second most powerful man in the kingdom there, working for Potiphar, who's a big deal in Egypt. And he's home alone one day, and Potiphar's wife comes. She tempts him with things that she shouldn't do with anyone who's not her husband. And he's like, yeah, I'm out of here. And what he does is, and here's the key to fighting temptation, he didn't stay and try to argue with her, reason with her, talk her out of her bad ideas, or put her clothes on after she tried to take them off. He ran away. And sometimes the most strongest man thing you could do is to run away.
Flee.
Okay? Yeah, you flee the evil temptations of youth. And so sometimes if that same temptation keeps coming back in the same situation, then it would be a stronger man move to not put yourself in that situation. Maybe you're going to a stepdad's house on visitation, and there's always things over there that you don't like. Well, then you tell your mom or your dad or whoever that you can trust, I don't like going to that place because when I'm there, these kind of dragons pop up. So maybe it's circumstantial, maybe it's situational, and you can start connecting dots about when those dragons come and start being a savvy, strategic dragon slayer. I'm not going to go over there anymore. I'm not going to be with those friends anymore because when I'm with them, these dragons come with them. Okay? So sometimes you kill dragons by avoiding dragons. Okay? But don't feel bad that they keep coming back. That just tells me Satan wants to get you down because you're walking the narrow road. Well done. Super proud of you, buddy. Super proud of you. Good job. Hey, if you enjoyed that clip, you can click here to listen to the full podcast or click in the link below and go wherever you listen to podcasts. And we're here, we're there, we're everywhere. Hopefully you can find us. And if you'd like some more free resources, you can head to StrongerManNation.com.